Hey everybody, happy Sunday, happy Boxing Day.
Yeah.
For people in the UK. And don't they celebrate Boxing Day in Canada too?
Oh, I don't know.
I might be high. I'm not sure.
We had problems starting the stream. If you guys have any problems, just go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section. I'm trying to watch it now on my and it's way behind.
Well, my shit's green, but
shit's green.
It's just, I started losing the connection like immediately. Like it started going into the red.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
So it's running green now, so
we'll see. Good. We had to restart the router. Jesus Christ.
Right.
I just want to drop kick the entire internet whenever this happens. It's so frustrating.
It was a router issue.
Must have been.
It was. Because look, it's running smooth now.
Fourth throwdowns give me a little boxing glove.
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about a movie that I saw when I was a kid. Scared the shit out of me. 1980. It's called Death Ship.
Yeah, it's weird because this is on Amazon Prime on the free to me section.
Yeah. And
I kept seeing it in there, but for whatever reason I didn't watch it because I think I confused it with the movie Ghost Ship from like 2002 or something like that. Is that the one where everybody gets cut in half in the first scene, like with the wire?
I don't know.
And so I kept thinking it was that one. So I was like, oh, I've seen that one a couple times. But then when I was looking at the description of this one, I was like, hey, I don't think I have seen this one. And Tom's like, yeah, this is pretty much, he said it was the one that he saw as a kid.
Yeah. And this one is kind of like, I had it, as a kid, I had it up there with like The Evil and Shockwaves, if you guys remember Shockwaves. Shockwaves is about the damn Nazi submariners, the damn submarine.
We should do crew. Shockwaves at some point too. I'm pretty sure it's on Tubi. I think I saw it on there the other day.
Yeah, in that one they had, so the Nazis had figured out how to make zombies, and they had a damn crew, an undead crew of zombies for their damn submarine. It had Peter Cushing in it. He was their captain, but he was alive. But the damn ship was fucking wrecked outside a desert island he was hiding on. It was a good flick. I remember it being good. I need to see it again.
Maybe we can watch it tonight. I'm pretty sure it's free.
Okay. Yeah, we'll find that one. And but what this one is about is and this one also came out around the same time that I was watching The Evil, which is a good haunted house movie. This one's about a haunted cargo ship that was working. It was a German cargo ship that was haunted with a bunch of ghosts on it. And the reason why it's haunted is because bad shit was happening on this ship.
Which is usually why things are haunted, I guess.
I guess some part of German intelligence, I don't know if it was SS or Gestapo or something, they were using the ship as a interrogation site. And it was a remote interrogation site that just went in a circle.
Circled the Atlantic,
Yeah, it never would go to land. And they didn't really explain much of why it was haunted. It just was. And the captain of the ship's, his ghost is still on it. And all the damn bodies are still on it and everything. It's good. It's been out there for 30 years when these people find it. It's pretty cool.
Fourth Throwdown says, Death Ship was a problem for me because I intrinsically trust George Kennedy. Yeah, he usually plays a good guy. Not in this one.
No.
Even before he gets... this is an old movie. We can spoil it, right? This is 1980. Even though he does get possessed and starts doing Nazi shit, like on the boat, even before that, before he gets possessed when they're on the cruise ship, he's still kind of a douche. You know what I mean?
Well, he was being retired for being a dick.
Yeah, that's why.
A dick. They said he was a good captain, but he couldn't deal with customers.
Yeah, he wasn't a people person. Let's put it that way. I kept calling him Mr. Grumpy Pants like throughout the whole because he was just so fucking cranky. He was just like old man yells at cloud type of dude.
Yeah, he starts off as a captain on a luxury liner, and he doesn't want to hear people's shit. People talking about their dead husband. He's like, yeah, okay, right. And he's just got
whatever. Fuck off.
Fuck off. Yeah. And, so he's losing his career for being a dick.
Although he's old too. He's like retirement age.
Yeah, he's retirement age anyway. He's pretty he has 30-something years experience.
Yeah, I think he says.
Well, while they were out there at sea, they get rammed by a fucking ship. And they kind of create creativity. They kind of use creative ways to not show you this actual ram.
Well, I don't know if it was creative or not. It was basically just like, oh my god, a ship comes in and there's like a hole in the side of the boat and they show water coming in, and then the next scene there's just
they're in a raft.
They're just like 7 people on a raft.
Right.
And I'd be like, oh, I guess it sank.
Yeah, 7
I said I guess they couldn't afford to show.
7 people on a raft. They're just kind of like random people that they kind of introduced you to before the thing happened. And then floating out in the water, they find the captain. He's about half dead. They put him in the raft. And then later on, this ship comes up, and it's this big old black, scarred up looking. It looks really cool. It is a real ship. I don't know where they got this ship. Jenny might have researched it.
I didn't see. Yeah, they didn't really say. I mean, it is a real ship.
It's a real cargo ship, and it's black. And they painted it black, and it's black and rusty and been out there for fucking ever. And the stairs to get up in it, I don't know what you call that. I'm a fucking soldier. I'm not a fucking fucking seaman. But
you said seaman.
Yeah. Well, they're not sailors. They'll fucking slap you for saying that.
I know.
They're not sailors.
Apparently, according to Wikipedia, it's called a boarding ladder.
Boarding ladder, yeah.
I don't know if that's correct or not.
Boarding ladder was down, and they get up in it. And, there's windows opening, like there's people looking down at them, but you don't see anything. And then they... it didn't want to let the captain in at first, did it?
Yeah, it not actually all of the officers, because there's 3. Like George Kennedy, he plays the captain. Ashland was his name, right? Yeah. Captain Ashland. And then the younger guy that's replacing him, who's played by Richard Crenna. Now he's on there with his wife and kids survived, so that whole family's there. And then there was another officer. I can't remember what his name was, but he was played by Nick Mancuso. Yeah. And I think his character's name was Nick, too, now that I'm thinking about it. And the 3 of them were trying to get, George Kennedy's kind of tubby butt, up the stairs. Yeah. And the ship was like, nope, and, kind of dumped it off, when everyone else was on board. So it was trying to, prevent him from getting on board at first.
Now, one of the guys that makes it, that survived the original wreck of the ship, and the guy who was in the raft, he was I think he was the leader of the damn band that was on the ship.
Yeah, he was like the MC.
Right. And he's a Jewish guy, all right? And these fucking ghosts, they fucking single him out fucking first
Nazi
thing
ghosts,
and kill his ass.
That's gonna happen.
Damn Nazi ghosts are not gonna let this Jewish guy on a fucking ship, all right? And I don't want to spoil that one. That's a pretty. He
gets taken out pretty quickly.
Yeah, as soon as he's on the ship, they're like, nope, we're not having your kind here. They kill his ass. Pretty dastardly the way the ghosts got him too, fucking, and because it took time, and everybody else were seeing it happening. That was a good thing about this ghost movie, this haunted ship movie, is that a lot of it happened in broad daylight in front of a bunch of people. It's not like it was singled you out. It did sometimes, but it usually, when it killed somebody, it was in front of everybody else, and it didn't matter if it was night or day, which I thought that made it even eerier for me. Even as a kid, I was like, "Whoa, this thing will kill you in broad daylight, in front of with everybody."
And there's
watching.
Not really much you can do about it.
Right? So I was, as a kid, it intimidated me right off the bat, and that's one of the first dudes to die in this movie. And they just get in on the ship, so it's fast, and not fast. His death was slow, but they do some sailor shit to him. The ghosts do. You don't see them; they're just invisible. All right, and. The dude that played him, you'll recognize the guy who played the Jewish dude. He's the dude that played the Ducks or the Duke's biographer in what was the name of that Clint Eastwood movie? Unforgiven.
Yeah, he was Saul Rubinek. That's the guy's name.
And he's much younger and he's real fit in this, and he gets fucked up. He also was on a couple of episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation. He played a collector he tried to make Data into a statue. That was a good episode.
He was I looked up his IMDb page, and he's in a fuck ton of stuff. He was in tons of movies, TV. He's also a playwright, I think. Maybe a novelist. He was in Unforgiven. Yeah, he was in Wall Street. He was in True Romance.
Yeah.
Nixon. Yeah. He was in The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. That's Coen Brothers, right? That was on Netflix a year or two ago. He was on that. So he's been in a fuck ton of stuff. You'll recognize him. He's been in everything.
So I'm gonna go to.
So it's a very early role for him.
If you're Jewish, you're gonna like this movie because it's fucking a horror movie about damn Nazi ghosts. So,
I like that they didn't see. I like that you don't see them. You know what I mean?
See them.
I mean, maybe that was budgetary constraints because this doesn't really seem like it was all that high budget. And when I looked it up, it's a Canadian UK co-production.
Yeah. And
a lot of it was filmed in Canada.
And it's strangely a big part of it filmed in Alabama.
Yeah.
And out in the Gulf of Mexico off the coast of Alabama.
But I looked it up, and on Wikipedia it said it only got a limited theatrical release, it was only released in 250 theaters and only in 3 states: Florida, Wisconsin, and Texas.
This would play well in Florida. It has kind of a Floridian feel to it because it's out in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, they shot some of it in the Gulf of Mexico,
and it kind of has that feel to it. It's like something out of down Bermuda Triangle or something. You know, you don't know where it's happening.
Yeah, anything
it's supposed to be in the Atlantic, I think, but it doesn't look or feel like it.
I think, well, according to because I didn't really get, I don't even know if they said this, but like at the first beginning part when they were having like the big costume party or whatever, on the cruise ship before it gets rammed. I think it's supposed to be in the Caribbean. Like it's a cruise line that's just going around the Caribbean.
It feels like Caribbean.
Yeah, I think that's what it was supposed to be.
So did Shockwaves. Shockwaves is real. That was Nazi. That's Nazi sea zombies. With you got to see that one. That's another one. Shockwaves. Fucking.
I said, maybe we'll watch that tonight, and because I'm pretty sure it's on Tubi.
Nazi submarine zombies.
But I like this. I like the way they went about, because anything that's like about ghost ships is creepy.
Yeah.
So the fact that you get, you're in a fucking life raft, and then you get, actually it wasn't even a life raft, I don't think. I think it was just like a piece of the boat that had sunk or something.
Yeah. But I think I was hard. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Was it dinghy? I guess it wasn't.
I couldn't tell. It was just like, I couldn't tell if it was a piece of wreckage or if it didn't look like a standard lifeboat, is what I'm saying. So I wasn't really sure if it was just like a piece of wreckage.
The strengths of this movie is that it's on location in this fucking ship, and this ship is ratty as fuck in through most of it. Other places of it is looks normal, you know what I mean? But it's all fucking unused, and you find secret compartments in there that are down Nazi shrines to the funds. Einstaatsgruppen fucking Nazi shrines.
They walk into this one room. I don't remember if it was like the captain's quarters or whatever. And he walked in and I said, gosh, do you think he maybe likes Nazi shit?
Yeah, you think he's a Nazi? No, the whole thing's fucking red.
I mean, the walls, the ceiling, everything. And there's just like fucking Nazi flags and like a big painting of Adolf Hitler. I'm like, and Tom's like, yeah, it might be a little bit over the top.
Yeah, it went a little over the top. And what was funny is that the painting of Hitler is in its own special room after the red room. All right, so whoa, you open it up and there he is. And then in the red room, there's nothing but like Kriegsmarine fucking flags and fucking Kriegsmarine fucking propaganda posters, and it's all in fucking nice fucking frames, and the lighting looks really good, and it is eerie when they go in there. And then eventually, through all this shit, people are dying in weird fucking ghostly ways. A woman dies because she eats some damn candy. And I think this never explains. That's another thing that's great about this movie is it never explains anything. I think she ate the candy, and I think the candy were suicide pills. Is what it was.
Even though it looked like those like kind of round peppermints.
They looked like peppermints, but they were in the captain's quarters. I believe, weren't they in a big jar? I think it was the captain's quarters.
Well, I don't know. I thought it might have been like the crew quarters because there was more than one bed in there. I think there was more than one bunk in there.
Well, that might have secretly been the suicide pills.
Although you'd think they'd put like a label on that, like, "Hey, don't eat these unless you want to die."
No, Spycraft would have it disguised as something else, so you don't. So
they just have to tell all the new crew members when they come on board, please don't eat those.
They would all get orders. This is poison. You know what I mean? Because you don't want your captors to know it's poison, because you want to ask for it. You know what I mean? Give us that candy. Just shit like that. They hide that shit a lot of times. Spycraft is all into them fucking secret James Bond shit. But she died from something after eating that.
Yeah, she kind of like turned. She started to like decompose or something. But then George Kennedy strangled her though.
Well, he was possessed.
Well, I know that, but in case we didn't mention that, he actually gets possessed by.
And he strangled her because he thought that she was one of the crewmen. Remember, it was showing what he saw. So he was killing his own crew because, as it turns out, the crew all killed themselves.
I don't think so though, because
he killed them.
The Wikipedia page said that all those people, when they go in the freezer and there's all those people hanging.
Yeah.
Wikipedia page said those were RAF and Russian.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The actual crew members, I guess, were just haunting the shit.
Okay.
But you didn't see them because, like I said, you don't see the ghosts.
So maybe that's who they were interrogating. They were interrogating the RAF because I knew that those were pilots. All right, they were in pilots' uniforms, but I didn't really know the difference between a German pilot and a British pilot's uniforms. Yeah, that makes sense now. But you don't know what happened to the crew. I guess the crew went overboard.
Well, I was assuming that the crew were still there. They were just ghosts now.
Yeah, but what happened to their mortal bodies?
Oh, I don't know. Well, but
they had to have died somehow.
Were those the bodies that dude fell in at the end? Or were those their victims' bodies? Or maybe it was a combo.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that was just like they...
Right.
Or like you said, they might have just threw him overboard because when that woman dies, George Kennedy, wraps her up and throws her overboard. I always thought they were
killing Jewish people in there, but I guess not. It doesn't make sense. They were killing the RAF guys. They were killing Allied people there. Because why would they... Well... Because the big plot hole is like, why the hell do you need that when you have concentration camps? Well, you answered it. It's
a mobile unit.
They weren't doing that to Jewish people in there. It was RAF people.
They were, though, because remember they went into that one place and there was all those corpses in there.
Yeah.
And then there were gold teeth and jewelry and stuff.
Well, they might have just
they were interrogating.
Yeah, but I don't think those were Jews. I just think they were just Allied people. British and Russian people.
Well, maybe they
had gold teeth too.
Well, no, but I'm saying that maybe they had a different shit. They're like, well, if you're not Jewish, but you're RAF or whatever, we'll just hang you in the freezer. But if you are Jewish, then we'll put you...
It was interrogations, though.
Right.
And you see, they didn't even bother interrogating Jewish people.
We're thinking about this probably more than the people that wrote it did.
I think it was just... I think they were interrogating Allied troops there for battle information. They didn't interrogate Jewish people. They just killed them because they didn't know anything. They were civilians. You know what I mean?
But yeah, so Zach was saying that he said the only part of this movie that fucked him up was the woman in the blood shower. But other than that, he thought it was kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
It is kind of, but it's still fun, though.
Yeah, it's a fun movie, man. This was fucking for 1980. I think it was 1980 this came out, right?
Yeah.
This was a good movie for 1980. It was on location in that ship. That right there is fucking...
So
you don't see that nowadays.
Honestly, the whole atmosphere and the sort of verisimilitude of being on the ship and everything really gives this a lot of atmosphere that it might not have had otherwise.
Right. A set would not have fucking done it. It was because it was actually on that ship. Same thing with the old movie The Island that had Michael Caine in it. They actually were on a damn Coast Guard ship and they doing that, and a set can never match the real thing. And they really were on those islands, and they really were in those little boats and dinghies and shit doing stuff. Just nowadays they would try to do a lot of that shit with CGI and sets and stuff to save money. But no, back then they actually just, we're going to rent it and then, call the Coast Guard, and the Coast Guard will help us out and we'll film this movie. Because that really was the Coast Guard. It thanks them in the end of the movie, the island. They decided to make a movie with Michael Caine in it.
Well, yeah, we did a review of that.
Yeah.
No, what was I going to say? Oh, okay. So the one kid, there was a kid that was in this movie, the little boy that pees all the time.
Yeah. That was dumb.
I think his name was Ben.
Yeah.
Well, they just had to have that so he would go off on his own sometimes because it's I was like, that kid's got some bladder problems. Yeah. He needs to go to the doctor. But it was bugging me the whole fucking movie because I'm looking at this kid and I'm like, that kid is so fucking familiar. Where the hell have I seen him before? And for a time, I thought, you know what? That looks like the kid that was in Pod People on MST. And so I was really trying to find out who the fuck that was, but it's not the same kid. That kid that was in Pod People was actually a French kid. This kid, I can't remember what the actor's name was. I can't remember what his name was, but I looked him up, his IMDb page, and he's been in some movies and stuff, but he wasn't in anything that I had seen, so I can't figure out why he looks so familiar to me, unless he just looks so much like the kid from Pod People that that's just, you know what I mean? That I'm just thinking he's the kid from Pod People, even though it's not, because that's a totally different kid. But, you know, I was looking up all the actors and directors and stuff for this, because I was curious. And Nick Mancuso being in this, I knew he had been on Stingray from TV and stuff. He's been in a fucking shit ton of stuff too. But something that I discovered about Nick Mancuso that I didn't know, and I don't know if you guys know this either, was that he was Billy's voice on the phone from the original Black Christmas. And that kind of like blew my mind. That dude I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. He was in Under Siege as well, I think. The director of this is a fun little fact. The director of this was a Canadian dude named Alvin Rakoff, not really sure. And he mostly did TV, starting out in the late 50s. And I think he worked until like the late 90s. And he did a lot of like teleplays, like televised plays, particularly on British TV, and he won a bunch of awards for that. But the fun fact that I discovered was that he was the director, that gave Sean Connery his first leading role in the 1957 teleplay Requiem for a Heavyweight, which was written by Rod Serling, of all people. Isn't that neat? I thought that was neat. But yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, it's a cheesy movie. It's got boobies in it, especially there's the whole woman that's in the shower and it just inexplicably starts bleeding on her.
Well,
and she flips out.
And she's British too, so she can show her boobs.
I guess. Wait, is that actress British? The younger one?
I think she was.
The older one was. The older woman was Sally Ann Howes. She was from.
Well, she was the one in the shower.
She was in Shitty. No.
No.
No, that was a different woman. There was two different women.
Yeah, no, I think they were
the
both
slightly
British.
older woman.
Yeah.
With the British accent was the one that's character was married to Richard Crenna's character. And then the younger one was the one that was kind of like the on-again, off-again girlfriend of the younger officer played by Nick Mancuso.
Well, I think they were trying to pass her off as American, but to me, she sounded British.
I couldn't really tell. She didn't really talk all that much. But she was the one that was in. But the slightly older woman was Sally Ann Howes, who I think was mostly a stage actress, but she was in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I think the younger one was supposed to be American, but I kind of detected a British accent. I mean, you guys can check. You guys are online.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think she was British.
But yeah, so you do get to see a naked woman covered with blood in a shower, so that's neat.
Yeah, Zach said that's what freaked him out the most. Not the blood, just seeing a naked woman. That freaked his ass out.
Ew.
Yeah, he's
but,
like, yeah.
It's not a real...
it's not graphic.
It's not a real gory movie at all. Like, most of the people get killed in sort of, I don't want to say prosaic ways necessarily, but I did, however, like how George Kennedy's character died at the end, even though they don't show it completely, but I think they filmed it in a way that was good because it implied a lot grosser than they actually showed.
Now it does have some good effects for dead bodies. It shows a lot of dead bodies.
Yeah, I do like all the corpse effects and it look good.
So they look real good. There's some German dialogue in it. The ghost of the old German captain is fucking talking to the old captain. I don't know if Sandra can tell us if that's real German or if that's somebody they just hired.
It apparently is, because on the Blu-ray, they have a German speaker
doing it,
who tells you what he's saying, what the guy.
I don't know what he was saying. Something about it was his ship at the beginning. I think that's
all I know. At the very end, when the people escape from the boat and whatever. And then the German or the ghost ship sees another ship and was like, "Oh, we're gonna go ram that one," because the ghosts need blood, I guess.
Yeah.
So they have to kill people.
Yeah.
So the German that they're saying in that one, they're saying something like "enemy in sight" or something like that. So I know that. So it is actual German.
Okay.
They're not just making it up. I was like, millions and millions of people in the world speak German. It'd be really dumb to just kind of go on there and just pretend.
Knowing how
it's fake ass German.
Knowing how these movies are made, I mean,
it's really not hard to find somebody that can speak German.
This is a Canadian movie, so they're gonna put a German in there. If this was a movie from California, they'd have fucking Keanu Reeves fucking trying to just here, man, read that out in German. You know what I mean? His fucking ass fucking trying to read it out in German, be fucking atrocious. Yeah, sounds good enough. Roll with it.
Whatever. Who speaks German anyway? Nobody.
German. Yeah.
Nobody will know what you're saying.
Exactly the thinking that they would do back then.
But yeah, apparently it is actual German.
Yeah.
I don't know what it all says, but I have seen that somebody translated it. I think it's a special feature, on the DVD or the Blu-ray or whatever.
Yeah.
This kind of, to me, this feels like a movie that I didn't see this back in the day. I'm pretty sure.
I saw it. They were playing it on HBO. It didn't look very good on television. It looks a lot better on HD TV now with in HD, like it was intended to be seen on a big screen. It looks good. The old television format, it was still scary, but it doesn't look anywhere near as good. It looks good. I liked it. But hey, I like retro movies from this era. I grew up with them. Yeah, they're imperfect. There is cheese in them. but it's kind of like a walk down memory lane and just the way the movies used to be, and I still find them entertaining. I put this up there with like Shockwaves, which Shockwaves might have been a little shittier actually, but I still liked it.
I know I've seen Shockwaves, but it's been a long time since I've seen it.
I think Shockwaves might have been a little shittier.
So now I'm kind of curious to like watch it again. We'll have to watch it later.
It fucking had that British actor in it. You know, that's he. You know, well, what's his name? Fucking the dude from Star Wars. It had him in it, so he made that movie. What's that guy's name? Voice to the center of the earth. You know, you like a skinny dude, back teeth.
Back teeth.
He got back teeth.
Peter Cushing.
Peter Cushing's in Shockwaves. So he carries that whole movie.
Well, I mean, Peter Cushing is a fucking class act, right? Him and Christopher Lee. They just elevate everything that they're in. What in the hell?
She brought that in here. She couldn't transport that?
Yeah.
How did you bring that in here?
How'd you get that in here, Pookie?
She must have had it in her teeth.
I guess.
She picked up a snowman. Carried a
For Christmas, snowman. I bought her little. It's called Snacky the Snowman, and it's for like Temptations. It's like this little round snowman, and you put treats in it, and when you knock it over, treats come out of its butt. And it was, or it's not its butt. I guess its side. Yeah. And we had it way over there in the living room.
Yeah, she carried that in.
And she just brought it in here.
And it's because it's empty.
Oh, she's like, refill this, Mama. Okay. We'll put some more treats in it.
Put some treats in it.
She's like, this is bullshit right here.
Yeah, this bullshit here, man. It's out.
There was a lot of treats in there. I filled it all the way up. Like, I filled it up so much that they were like leaking out.
She knows that treats go in there.
I can't believe she carried that all the way in here.
Yeah.
And then she brings it in here for us to refill it.
Yeah, refill this bitch.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Funny, man.
You're the weirdest cat.
She's a smart cat. She understands the game.
When she wouldn't come downstairs to unwrap her present, so we had to bring it because I kept going, come down here, Pookie, I have a present for you, and she's just like, no, I'm not doing that. Yeah. So we had to bring it upstairs. And then, so I gave her that, and then when we opened it, like, Tom was, like, ripping the paper, and she was, like, flipping out. She was just like, nope. No, and she ran away.
She thought something was going to come out and get her.
I think so. I was like, when is that going to... I don't know why she's so jumpy.
She's a cat. You're constantly living on the edge of panic.
I guess so. It's like, nobody's ever... Look at her. She's, like, staring at Tom, going, like, hurry up.
Here you go.
There's your little snowman.
It's in there now.
Yeah, there's treats in there now.
She knows what it means.
She's like, thank you.
Yeah, she knows what it means. She's like, yeah, she smelled it. She goes, there it is.
Oh, okay, good. That's just like, I wonder, we just heard some clatter over there on the floor, and I was like, holy crap, she brought that all the way in here.
Yeah, she's pushing it over.
That's crazy.
So, we got anything else to say about this?
Probably not. I guess this is the first. I hope everybody had a good Christmas. I forgot to say. We still have like 40 bajillion tons of food left. I haven't even eaten anything today, actually, now that I think about it.
I need to get something to eat.
I know, we got to go get
some. Yeah, so watch this
turkey
one.
And potatoes and all kinds of stuff.
You guys should watch this one, and then when you get done with this one, you can watch Shockwaves.
I was going to say this one is almost kind of like, it's like a cool, like, supernatural horror plus Nazis, plus it almost has a little bit of a disaster movie vibe to it, too, especially in the beginning.
Yeah, it's like a 70s disaster.
Because the cruise ship gets rammed.
Yeah.
And then, but like I said, I kind of laughed because... Obviously, you could tell that they didn't have the budget to show like the cruise ship sinking.
Yeah.
So it's just
around it.
It just kind of like was like, oh, there's this big party.
Yeah, they got
which I don't know if it was supposed to be New Year's or Halloween. Everybody had costumes on, and then basically they had one shot of what you assume is like the front of the other ship, like coming into, smashing into the hull, and then there's like all this water, and then it just like cuts immediately to, people, survivors. Like there was no footage of like sinking or anything like that, but I was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, that was economical, wasn't it? But that kind of made me laugh. So it does have like some cheesy elements to it and like some stuff that made me laugh, but it's not really that cheesy. I mean, other than the little boy peeing all the time, the Pod People kid who wasn't the Pod People kid, and the funny thing where they went way over the top with like the Nazi memorabilia in that one room. That just like, I don't know why that made me laugh so hard.
It was a whole shrine.
Just like when we went in there, I'm like, oh, you think he likes Nazi shit?
Yeah. It was like a shrine.
I was like, damn, let's dial it back a couple notches. I was like, look, the ceiling was red too, not just the walls. It had red walls and a red ceiling. I thought that was like a nice touch. But yeah. So, this was super fun. It's actually, if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free. Like I said, I didn't watch it for a long time because Zach was saying I still prefer Ghost Ship from 2002. And for a long time, I didn't watch this because I thought this was Ghost Ship And I'd already seen that like a couple times, but then I was like, oh wait, no, this is like a completely different movie, and I had never seen this one. Even though this totally looks like something that I would have watched back in the day, but I guess I didn't. But yeah, so all right. I guess it's Sunday. Like I said, hopefully you guys had a really good Christmas. We had a really nice little good Christmas, eating a lot of food and watching. What did we watch last night? Other than this. Then I watched like the riff tracks of Jack Frost.
Right.
So that was we were gonna watch Christmas Chronicles 2, but we never got around to it. Too late now. We gotta wait till next year. Oh well. But at least we watched the first one. So we did that. All right. So anyway, have a good day after Christmas. Have a good rest of your weekend, and we will see you guys again tomorrow talking about another movie. Thanks for dropping by.